We do have some key housing data that's expected this week as home sales linger at 8-year highs. Question is, will this trend continue? Shari Olefson is a real estate attorney and director of the Carnegie Group think tank. She joins us right now from Fort Lauderdale. And Shari, we have seen these record levels, but a huge question has been affordability and availability. How do you kind of dig down on what we've seen and the trends to date?
Sure. Well, you need to look behind the sales, Becky, and look basically, like you said before, at the inventory. We have about almost a 6% drop in inventory from last year. We're down to about 4.5 months of inventory, which is not really going to be able to meet our needs. And one of the primary reasons for that, which you just referenced, is new home construction. We dropped to about 500,000 new homes when the real estate bubble burst. We've exceeded about a million mark for the last couple of years, but normal would be about 1.5 million. And there are a lot of reasons that new construction has slowed down. Those new homes that are being built tend to be more multifamily units, and of the single-family units, they tend to be more single-family rentals now than ever before, and there's a skew towards the luxury market. So as a result, there's really just no starter homes available, and affordability inventory is really driving what we're seeing now.
Affordability is driving what we're seeing, but what happens? Do you think these trends will continue, that we will continue to see prices rise, and is that going to be for reasons other than availability?
That's actually a great question, because we are 7 years into the recovery, and at some point we're going to have to say this is the new normal. This is, we need to stop waiting to see what we saw before. That goes to affordability. We know that the need for affordable units, rental and to own, is about 4 times what the supply has been, which is a big issue. We know that construction costs about 40% more to build a new home now than an existing home, which is an all-time high. About 25% of that goes towards regulatory type costs like impact fees and things like that, which are somewhat controllable by policy. And those things we need to just accept as a reality, I think, at this point, 7 years into the recovery. We also know that rentership has been increasing for the last 10 years, which is a trend we're going to expect to continue through 2030. So at some point, we've got to say, look, if Americans aren't going to own homes, then how are they going to accumulate that wealth, which we know 75% of middle-class America used to rely on their homes for?
But why is rentership increasing? Is it because people can't get a down payment together? Is it because they're afraid of buying a house because of what happened with the housing bust? Or is it that they can't get a loan?
There's a lot of reasons for that, and it really depends on the specific demographics, but you hit on 2. So saving a down payment is a major obstacle, and the government's been trying to address that by lowering the down payment requirements, for example, through Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac.
Although that was part of what got us in trouble in the first place, were these no down payment loans that were issued.
Well, down payment, credit, yeah, it's a combination. Right, it's a combination of affordability, which hopefully the Dodd-Frank rules are addressing. It's a combination of that, and like we've been saying, availability is a major, major issue. We know that policy, particularly after the presidential election, is going to have a big impact on what happens in housing, particularly policy impacting mature homeowners who they're about 1/4 of the population, but they actually own about 2/3 of the housing wealth. And they're going to continue to. So tax policy impacting Social Security and capital gains exclusions and things like that. Policy impacting the millennials, 80% of whom say they'd like to buy. So that may be student debt policy, for example. And then the other big group is foreigners, which account for about 1/3 of new household formations and about 200,000 home purchases a year. And we know the candidates have different ideas on immigration and how to deal particularly with China and Mexico, which is 2 of the largest groups of foreign buyers in our country.
So, Shari, when everybody's going to redo their bathroom and their kitchen, is that Home Depot? Will they benefit? Will they have professionals do it? I may do it myself, kitchen or the... I keep trying to change the toilet paper roll. It's got...
It's a little complicated.
That gets stuck so I'm probably not going to retile my bathroom. But can we just assume that Home Depot and Lowe's are going to be beneficiaries of this trend with low inventory and people remodeling?
Yeah, Home Depot and Lowe's will be beneficiaries, as will be a lot of the local handymen and construction people who really suffered when the real estate bubble burst. The Lennars and the Toll Brothers, did well and navigated it, but those local guys were the ones who really struggled. I have to say homeowners are going to struggle too, because you're going to end up paying really market or above market rates to get those guys, because there's a significant shortage of labor in those typical fields.
Right. That's why it helps to do it yourself, I find. Anyway, okay.
Shari, thank you.
It depends on how you do it. I've tried that.
No, there won't be any of that. There will not. No. I wish.
I don't know why I'm laughing. It's not that I can.
Women find it. Yeah, some women find that there's going to be nothing for me if it's dependent on being handy in the home. I'm up a creek without a paddle, because yeah.
You have many other attributes.
But remember some of the guys we've had in here that are, and then you combine that those are the stars of some of those home improvement networks.
Yeah. Who are the brothers who come?
Those guys, and then there was that other guy that looked like he was on a soap opera or something. Yeah. Plus, he can remodel the. Is there a school for? Yeah, is there a school for them? I mean, could I get better?
Look, you don't actually have to be good. You just have to look the part. Show up with the tools.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, your tool.
I know exactly what you mean. Thanks. And Shari, thank you. Coming up, Tim Cook.